video, guys. Hope you're having a good week so far. Thanks for coming back to the channel. Today, we've got a solid back session I want to take you guys through. Probably touch some biceps at the end. But before all that, I need to get my pre-workout meal in first. And I've been having this guy, honestly, probably the majority of the past week is my pre-workout meal. About like an hour to an hour and a half before I train. And if you haven't guessed it yet, I'm making some protein pancakes. So with this guy, what's up, buddy? It just calls for half a cup of this Kodiak cake mix. I think their power cakes is their kind of standard protein packed mix. I kind of just felt this recipe out with what tasted good and what got the amount of protein I wanted. So 1 scoop of that, and then I do about a scoop and a half of Raw's vegan protein. You guys can pick up this protein on Raw's website if you're interested. The link is in the description. I've been using them for about a year now, and honestly, they're probably some of the highest quality supplements I've come across. Plus, code MERC will get you 15% off and helps support the channel. They have a few different vegan flavors, all pretty good. I feel like the peanut butter might be the one that pairs the best with at least the pancake mix. A little bit of salt. Mix these dry ingredients together. Just like that. And then to bring it all together, I'll use a little bit of almond milk. I'll throw an egg into for extra protein. I typically don't measure the milk, although I probably could at this point. I made these enough. Just kind of eyeball it till I get the consistency I want. Put a little bit more. And then once it gets kind of thick, just to water it down a little quicker, I use some actual water. I don't know if the almond milk is thicker than water, but just get to a certain point where I'm like, that's enough almond milk. Maybe some water. All right, there we go. It's looking good. Yeah, that's money. Usually makes about 4 or 5 of these little guys. And like most things I cook, I like to cook it in the avocado oil. It's got a little bit higher smoking point or burning point than regular avocado oil. That's nice because otherwise your pancakes tend to turn out tasting like burnt oil if you tend to leave the stove on too long like I do. Probably let these guys cook another 30 seconds or so. It's probably what, maybe 2.5 minutes, Mike? What do you think on the front side? I really just look until they start to bubble a little bit and then flip it over. Get this nice little golden brown action going on. All right, so, you know, laugh at it if you want, if you must, but just to moisten them up. And I don't like using syrup because, I don't know, I'm not big on like adding a lot of sugar-free things because sometimes I get bloated even with the sugar-free syrup. And the natural syrup is great, but the calories add up real quick. It's real high in sugar. So just use the same almond milk, drizzle a little on, moistens it up. And hey, you know, it's not a necessary step, but you know, if your pancakes are a little dry, which sometimes they can be, these aren't. You can tell. I don't know if you want to get a tight little shot of that. You know, that's just the pancakes as they are, pretty much. The almond milk is just a little extra bit I like to do.
I thought you were joking about the milk.
No, man, it's real. Look at that. You know, you get that like, so you ever have, what's that Hispanic dessert? It's like, man, they have a cake. Comment if you know what it is. But it's like a cake, and they usually do something similar where it's in like some kind of milk at the very bottom, so it's real moist like this. Forget the name of it, but it's good consistency. Now, if I had the extra fats today, I could add maybe a tablespoon of peanut butter to this. The peanut butter flavor of the protein is subtle, but it's there, which makes it good. Of course, it's hard to beat, you know, putting actual peanut butter on it. So if you got room in your calories that day, in your macros, I highly recommend adding some peanut butter to this one. I've been mixing up my pre-workout just a little bit. Instead of the pump square, which is just straight glycerol, I'm using the pump, which is more of a blend. And then the new essential pre for energy and focus. And I feel pretty similar with a scoop off of this as to the rest of the Davidge pre-line that they have. So I start getting like, not itchy per se, like maybe, I don't know, you know that beta alanine feeling? I was gonna say tingly, but I just don't really like saying the word tingly. Because the pump has a gram of beta alanine, and then the exact dosage. I'm gonna tell you guys the wrong thing. One scoop is 3.2 grams in the essential pre. So you feel it a little bit, but just between the focus and blood flow, pretty happy with the mix. Session, I'm gonna start like I start a lot of my back days. Do a warm up, something like a pull up. Usually 3 or 4 sets, 10 to 12 reps. Really focus on pulling up by contracting my back first, so I'm engaging my lats, then pulling myself up. Not just trying to get my chin over the bar, but really trying to put blood into my back before I go into the workout. I'm gonna start with one heavy compound movement, and then today's a little bit different. Got some unilateral movements in the workout to really make sure that I'm getting kind of an equal contraction on both my right and my left side of my back, my right and my left lat, because I have a tendency, my right side overpowers, is a little bit stronger. So if I'm only doing movements where I'm rowing or pulling with both hands, right, engaging my whole back, my right will take over a little bit more. So this workout slows it down, breaks it down side to side, and allows me to make sure I'm getting the same mind-muscle connection on my left side, right? So the goal with that is, as I continue to develop, I don't have any imbalances. That's my limit right there. I know if I push past 6, it took me a while. Like I was doing 5 1/4 and a 10 or 5 1/4. Not that I'm a big numbers guy. For whatever reason, 6 on there, like a quality 6. When I can initiate that with my back, I feel it a lot more in my lats, less in the bicep. I feel like there's less tension on my shoulders when I'm rowing. That's only if I keep good form. So if I go too heavy, I start losing that form, I'm gonna feel it in my shoulders and my bicep a little bit. And then I know, okay, I need to drop a little bit, but I think I got 2 more in me on 6. So I'll keep it there, keep it good, tight, 8 to 10, real solid. And then this one I don't wanna go past failure on because I'm really putting a lot of load through my lower back in that position. So we got other exercises that I'll push past failure on today.
So picking up the pace just a little bit. That one I was giving myself a little too much rest on the rows. That's fine. The form was good, but I don't like to lose flow of a workout, because then it's like each set you're kind of having to get back in. So that's the key with the rest times, is rest enough that you can perform the next set effectively, but not too much where your heart rate drops, feel like your muscles start getting cold. Then it feels like you're back to set one every time. Luckily the rest of this workout, I think max is gonna be 90 seconds to 2 minutes. So I like getting a good sweat going too.
Well, yeah, he's been over to my house.
Oh.
I can vouch for a couple of curves in his road, so yeah, just don't watch. I won't show you the video. You don't want to see Jimmy scream.
So you know it's a good back day. Start losing some skin. Let's see if it makes the rest of the workout. It's gotta be a shot. Made it this far. All right, but on these, in all seriousness, with really any rowing motion, or even when I'm doing the pull, the key for me is to just keep my chest lifted throughout the motion, not just on the contraction, right, but also on the eccentric. It's easy to contract with good form and then kind of lose that tension while letting the weight back up or back down depending on your position. So for me, keeping my chest open, I'm ensuring that I'm gonna have to still control the weight, like I said, even on the way back down on that eccentric. And then that time under tension, especially on the eccentric, is important for putting more stress on the muscle, ultimately, hopefully growing. little trick on this one. Honestly, I didn't really necessarily avoid any preacher curls. I just found I would do the machine here and there, find substitutes, just because it never felt that good. And then I realized it's like, not that I got the biggest arms in the world, but I have some tricep, right? So when my arm is laying like quote unquote flat against the pad, it's not fully flat. Like there's room. If you notice, you have some mass there once you start building some muscle. It's like when my arm lays flat, it still kind of pivot forward, and my shoulder has to roll forward for it. The weight, whether it's the barbell, the machine, the cable, to fully extend it just doesn't feel right. Because I want the back of my elbow supported so I can get a better squeeze that way. So the simple fix for that for me has been when I get on here, instead of sitting back where I'm all the way flat, where I have this kind of awkward space where I just kind of have to hinge here to get my arm all the way down. Instead, I just move my upper body up, so you'll see me kind of brace myself with my legs. So now the bottom portion, this part of my tricep, is flat. My elbow, I can drive down into the pad, right in line with the axis here, and I can just squeeze. And for me, that's allowed me to keep tension on my bicep through the whole movement. And then I feel like I'm not putting any unnecessary stress on my shoulder by having to pull my arm down, and in doing so, pull my shoulder forward, pull my upper body off the pad. Instead here, I lock in, and then I'm just here with it. It almost shortens the range of motion slightly, but I'm much more locked in and in much better control of the weight. That's the session. I'm gassed. My back feels solid. I feel like, and over time, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, my left side in general is just a couple steps, it always feels like, behind my right side in terms of my muscle connection. Probably it's a little bit of strength difference between the two. Minimal, but it's something, okay, I can definitely work on. So sessions like this where I do the dumbbell rows and I switch, so I'm not starting with my right every time or starting with my left every time, but trying to create as equal, I don't know how to, like a very equal training environment for both sides, left and right. Then I hit the unilateral movements, so the unilateral single arm lat pull down, and then of course you got the dumbbell row, and feels solid. Just kind of really trying to continue to push my physique forward by being more and more intentional with my training, and it just comes to slowing things down. And even though I went real heavy at the beginning, a lot of those movements aren't my favorite back movements that I did today, right? They're a little bit harder to connect with the muscle, maybe a little bit more tiring because I'm doing 10 reps or 12 reps, and then I have to do another 10 or 12 reps on the other side. But days like these are important that I'm not, because they're easy to skip over in my experience. It's easy to be like, I like the double arm lat pull down, and I like the straight arm pull over, and just the
maybe exercises you're more accustomed to, but you know, for me, it's like, okay, I know my imbalances aren't going to get corrected doing those. So kind of taking inventory of myself as constantly as I can and training accordingly. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you want to follow this workout along with all my other training, check out the app. The first week is free if you want to just try it out. Again, I've been spending the majority of my time this year updating things on the training app, as well as pushing this brand further. So if you guys caught the last video, the day in the life, I teased it a little bit, what I've been working on with my business partner. We're still in kind of the sampling design phase, but we have a name and kind of have our collection outlined in general. So one step at a time. I'll as soon as I have more updates, or as I get them, because every week we're doing new things, but it's kind of something's kind of boring. So when I have good updates to tell you guys, that'll for sure be in these videos. So if there's any, I don't know, should I comment anything, Mike? Leave a like. I never asked to leave a like, because you don't have to if you don't want to. If you want to, it helps.
Can't think of anything right now.
That's it. Thanks for watching. That's a back session. Those are some protein pancakes, some dang good protein pancakes. But what do I know? I'm just Mert.